we're not setting ourselves up as a watchdog or anything like that. We have no, what do they call it, horses in the race, I guess?
Dog in that hunt.
We don't have any dog in the hunt. We're just basically a country manufacturer in the big city trying to make a living.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we do sell you equipment. We sell you processes. We will sell you SOPs. We'll sell you stuff to make it. And sell you consumables. So just let us know what you're looking for, and we can help. Something that we didn't talk about, you know, it doesn't come from the flour. The Delta 8 does not come from flour. There are very small traces of it in the flour, but it's not in there in a commercially viable amount. Okay. What happens is a lot of people use CBD and they convert it into Delta 8, and that's what they're doing with the Delta 8, okay? And the question was, is Delta 8 new, okay? It really isn't new. In fact, even conversion from CBD into Delta 9 and then into Delta 8 is not new either. It's been around for a long time. Take a look at this slide, guys, from 1966, okay? You think we've been treading the old ground? I mean, we really have. This is a quotation. If you guys want to go look up this paper, it'll show you exactly how to make this, okay? And actually, you can get this online. It's more or less free. You just type that in and you can find it out. This comes from Leshulam's lab, who is a very well-known scientist in the area of cannabinoid research. He's from Hebrew University, okay? And the guy has been working on cannabinoids for his entire, professional career. Delta 10's not new, and the ratios and stuff, they've been talking about that for basically forever. When you see it come up in the marketplace and all of a sudden, wow, it's this new thing, it's really not new. It's been around for a long time. The bottom line there is it's not new, but for some reason, it's come up as being the latest hotness. So
it is the latest hotness from 1966.
Just as a refresher, guys, here's the CBD molecule. What's the difference between CBD? Here you have CBD. Here you have Delta 9. You're converting it here into Delta 8 and Delta 10. Dominant conversion over to Delta 8 under the right conditions, okay? If you don't have the right conditions, you're going to get a lot of Delta 9, which you do not want. This, guys, is a chromatogram, okay? When a manufacturer chooses a laboratory, they order a test from the laboratory, and the laboratory says, well, what do you want me to test for, right? They'll say, okay, well, I want you to test for Delta 8, I want you to test for Delta 9, and I want you to test for CBD. As a consequence of that, you got to really kind of watch out. If you have a huge peak here, and this is kind of oversaturated, you can see it's at 1600. That's because it's so not very dilute. But you can see here, this is a better depiction here. Oh, look at, there's actually two little peaks there. One peak here, and then another little peak there, and then another peak there. These are all unknowns in here. So this is Delta 8, that's Delta 9, but what's this? And what's that little peak right there? And what's this little peak right there? You got to be careful about those unknown peaks. The point, guys, is that, hey, look, this is what they look like. And so you can identify, how much of the material is in your sample, okay? And typically what they'll do is they'll dilute it down and you get these peaks out. And the analytical chemist will say, oh, I can tell you that it's got, 15% Delta 8. It's got a non-detect of Delta 9. It's got no CBD in it at all that we can detect given this particular method. Okay. So obviously, if you go to different labs, will have different detection limits and different protocols for that. Okay. In the marketplace, sometimes there is a good market for someone who does their analytical chemistry not very well. So that you get a favorable certification.
Well put.
If there's unknowns, we should tell the customer that there's unknowns. Okay.
Agreed.
And we've been talking about that forever.
Yes.
So residuals are important. And also, look, if you have a product and they don't, in the method, measure Delta 9, and they just say, and all they report is Delta 8. So I can do that. I can just say to you, I will pay you to tell me how much Delta 8 is in there. They'll say, okay, there it is. There's how much it is. But they're not going to tell you about anything else, right?
No, just
because they're not calibrated for it. That's when you go and you look at, your certificates of analysis, which you have here. This has got some Delta 8 here. Here, there's some CBN. There's some CBC in here. So it's a really high percentage of Delta 8, okay? But not tested for residual solvents. So there's other, residuals in there that are not tested. So you don't know what's in there.
Yeah, that's scary.
But it is pretty amazing here. This particular one here, you can see it says a no detect Delta 9. Okay. I don't know, I'm not really sure about that. So we took this lot and we got the pen.
Uh-oh. What does it really look like?
And that's this brand A. This is not a gotcha moment, okay, at all. But hey, consumer guys, and also you guys out there who are doing manufacturing, you want to be able to put the stuff out. So if you go out onto the marketplace and you start buying these pens up and you get them in, you open them up and you take them to the lab and you test them. You really can't send that stuff to distribution because you're opening up your distribution to a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because they have products on that are hot. You're certifying are perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that's this first one right here. There's 4% Delta 9 in there. I don't know why it is that there's no detect.
When there's 4%.
Yes. How is that possible?
It isn't.
No. Except if there was no separation and they're just saying, okay, all of that's Delta 8. None of it's Delta 9. It's possible. It's not right. It's just not. It's
not
possible.
Correct.
So 55% of Delta 8, many unidentified peaks. When you have unidentified peaks, and what they look like is this, guys. You can see that all those unidentified peaks in there. Just make sure that you have a good clean chromatogram. I think that's what you want to have, and you want to make sure they do the residuals on them. Because nowadays we're using solvents. You should be always getting residual numbers out. Did you see on that certificate they didn't even measure the residuals?
Not at all.
So what are you smoking? What are you imbibing? Okay.
Yeah, you want to know as a consumer. Your consumers want to know. So my question is, I've got a shop and I purchased some pens and I have it tested and go, ooh,
right,
look at this. Or one of my customers has it tested, or somebody comes in and
you got to make a business decision. If okay, so you're kind of in a hard place there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I bought this and now I've been kind of swindled or whatever by the person who.
Well, I've been told this is the COA
right
that showed it as compliant, but it's not.
Right.
But now I've got this liability of having this
exactly.
felony.
So I would definitely get it out of your.
Get it out of the store.
Get it out of the store. That's the first thing. You can see brand B, brand C. We got varying levels of Delta 8. We actually expect that. You can also see brand C is kind of. They had a lot of Delta 9 in there because I think brand C was kind of diluted.
Oh.
So it was diluted and it had a lot of Delta 8.
Wow.
So I don't know.
A lot of Delta 9, you mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Delta 9, excuse me. Yeah. So also the unidentified peaks, that is basically their CBN or their CBC or the CBG or whatever. They're all coming up on those chromatograms. If they're a peak in the chromatogram, you should take a look at them and make sure that they're identified in there.
Absolutely.
If they can't identify it, then it may be something else.
Right.
It may be a process aid. It may be the solvent. It may be something else that's coming there and saying, hey, there's something wrong here, right? So that's why I think it's important for you to identify those peaks. This is an example. We helped these guys formulate the Outlaws amp. They formulated one. So what we ended up getting with the formula we gave them was like a 60%, something like that, 70%. And then there was like a 1 or 2% of this Delta 9, and it was diluted down and then tested, and then that's how they got the 0.25%. Also, what's important there is you get a nice clean chromatogram. And when I say a clean chromatogram, I mean all the peaks that are identifiable in the chromatogram have been. Well, it's okay if you have a peak there. It just should be identified. If you have CBN in there, you should tell, hey, you got CBN in there. Okay, so and then the effect is mellow. These other ones, we didn't ask anybody to try them because they were basically non-compliant. So if you want to find out what the effect of Delta 8 is, you really can't be taking a mixture of Delta 8 and Delta 9 and saying, okay, this is a good way to look at it. For those of you who are formulators and have your different formulas and you're looking at taste and flavor and aroma, things like that, we can help you with that. Just give us a buzz, and we can help you with all kinds of items. Really can help you with SOPs, SOP development, bill of materials development. We can help you with, understanding, okay, hey, look, here's all the ingredients that you need. Here's all the, improvements that you need and the certifications that you need for those ingredients. Are you guys interested in doing batch records? We can help you. We have a great software for that. Great software for doing batch records, packaging batch records. If you guys, some people are just packagers, and they're not doing the full process, and they
the
check out
IGW puts all that in, and the SOPs
great.
Are built in, and you follow that formulation all the way through.
So just to recap here, demand to see a chromatogram. Residuals may not be tested. We saw that on that one.
Scary.
hey guys, just
Yeah.
do the right thing.
Comply.
And then leachables may be present, so you got to be careful about that. So there's a couple different things. So that is the bottom line, guys.
That was awesome.